Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Russell. I teach the Advanced Statistics course to Psychology Honours students. I've been teaching stats for about, well, a bit more than a decade now. And one of the things I always see is that students are really nervous about studying statistics. They sort of freak out about the numbers and all this. And that's what I kind of, deal with in terms of my teaching approach. I'm very understanding that most people don't want to be studying my unit. They're a bit worried about it. And so I try and take a softly kind of approach and also make sure that I don't overwhelm people with statistical jargon. I try and use plain language as much as I possibly can. It seems to work. I get a lot of really good feedback from my students, and that's what sort of got me going for this award this year. I've won a few awards, and I don't mind sort of doing myself up a little bit, but I always feel a little bit self-conscious about it. What was quite good about this particular award was that there was a bit of a reflection on my teaching practices, and I kind of just treat it as business as usual in terms of my teaching, trying to explain things in plain language, partly because I got stuck in jargon when I was studying as well. So I don't want that to happen to my students. With that, the impact on my students really is to instill confidence in themselves in terms of doing research. People often say, there's absolutely no way I would have got a high distinction or a distinction in this course if it wasn't for my teaching. And I find that really rewarding. I also find that people come back to me later on when they're doing their research projects and say, thanks for showing me how to do these things. Some of their supervisors as well, because they do a research project after my course, have told me that, they're far more confident these days since I've taken over the course in terms of doing their analyses too. So it seems I'm making a bit of a difference, both for the students and their supervisors and other staff as well. That's what people are telling me anyway. I hope it's true. So part of the process for this award is doing a reflection and thinking about, your practices and how they make a difference. And it's a really different burden, standard of proof, to show that you're making a difference. I found it difficult at first to do the reflection process, but because I wasn't really sure what to look for and what to write. But as I worked through it, I found it, quite rewarding, and actually made me go and look at some of the learning and teaching literature a little bit more as well. And I found that what I am doing happens to kind of be a pretty good practice anyway. I hadn't looked at the literature before, so that was fortunate in a way that they would come out. So it was good for me to spend time looking at that and working that through. Would I recommend the reflection process? If you'd have asked me when I started, maybe not so much, because like I said, I found it a bit difficult at first. But now that I've done it, absolutely, it was a pretty rewarding experience. And in particular, to look at evidence bases around what works in terms of teaching people in statistics courses was very useful for me, partly because I can also show that to students in the future and say, I'm doing these things because they're evidence-based, which is what you want in a research in stats course. So I wanted to say thank you very much for this award. It's really lovely to be recognised for my teaching as well formally. So I do appreciate it. Thank you, and catch you around.